Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from SkiEssentials.com. Welcome to our 2026 ski test. Today we're talking about the Atomic Bent Chetler 120, the only ski that still has its full name, the full Bent Chetler name. And this is really the brainchild of the man himself, of Chris Bent Chetler. It's not exactly the same as the original Bent Chetler Pro Model ski, but it's the closest to the original. And the 120, this is the widest, this is still the flagship model, and that's why we get the full Bent Chetler name. It's really cool. Obviously, this is a powder ski, 120 underfoot, and to be perfectly honest, it's one of my favorite powder skis of this width. Here in Vermont, we don't get too many days where having a 120 underfoot ski really makes much sense at all. I would say on average less than 5 a year. I'm sure there will be people out there that argue with me and say you could ski this every day. That's great. That's just my opinion. I think if anything, the Bent 110 is a little bit more useful here in Vermont. But I have had several trips to more western parts of the country and skied this thing, sometimes right alongside Chris Bent Chetler. And let me just tell you, it is so much fun. It is light and bouncy and playful. It's never catchy. You can do like butters in deep snow on it. You can slash turns. It's really easy to flick the tail edge out. But they boost the energy in this ski too. It's got some carbon stringers in there, so you can ski it a little bit faster, a little bit more confidence inspiring than the Bent 110 would be at speed. So yeah, it's a really cool ski. Certainly not for everybody just because of the width, but really awesome for its intention and purpose. Like I said, it's got some carbon stringers in here that differentiates it from the narrower Bent models. Aside from that, it's basically the same. So lightweight wood core, and then of course we get the Horizon tech that we see in just about all the Bent skis. I can't recall off the top of my head if the 85 has it. I don't think it does. But definitely have it here in the 120. So kind of some beveling of the base of the ski. It increases overall surface area, so you get a little bit more float, and it also reduces pressure, so it's easier to release the tail edge or the tip edge. You know, if you're halfway through a nose butter 360 in deep snow, the second half of that trick is going to come around really nicely, largely and thanks to that Horizon tech. The fact that these are quite lightweight has always been important to them, and it's been something that has always separated these from other powder skis. So this is a 184, it's 120 underfoot. This is a big ski, and it's only 1,900 grams. So, 1,900 grams might not sound light, but when you get up to this size, it's quite light. And in my experience and just talking to different people that have skied it over the years, that's like the only thing that some people don't like. Is there are some people out there that they're bigger, they're really, really strong skiers. Maybe they like to ski with exceptional speed just straight down the fall line, and they're like, that ski's too light. And that's fine, because there's so many other skis out there for skiers like that to choose. You can go get a Maverick 115 CTI and you're gonna feel more supported. But the fact that it's lightweight just like increases its playfulness. It increases its overall character. It just makes all those fun, playful maneuvers that much easier. Those nose butters, hit a wind lip and do a cork 7. Like, you don't have as much swing weight. So it's like, that's a really important element to these skis, is the fact that they're pretty light. So really cool to see. And then they're pretty soft too. If anything, I think the 120 is a little bit stiffer than the 110. But it's pretty slight. Overall, they're still pretty soft flexing skis. And again, that's by design. If you had a super, super stiff shovel up here, doing a nose butter 360 would be pretty challenging and frankly kind of annoying. And just the fact that you can bend it nicely, it allows for those things much more naturally without being like, it's far from a complete noodle. I think like, at my weight, I'm 160 pounds, give or take. this has all the stability I would ever need for a powder ski. Like I'm not going to be taking this into really, really firm snow. I'm not going to be skiing it at like 70 miles an hour. So like, why would I ever want more than this? And that's one of the reasons, or many reasons, why I always enjoy skiing it, and it's easily one of my favorite 120 underfoot powder skis. I also like the amount of camber that they give this thing. Like, that's a good amount of camber underfoot, and you can actually, like, I wish we had a 110 right here next to it that we could squeeze together, because if anything, you feel that carbon maybe just like right there, right at the end of the flex pattern underfoot. It just gives it a little bit more oomph. You know, you're getting a little bit more springiness out of the flex pattern, which is sweet. And then a lot of rocker in the tips and tails. Not the most that you'll ever see. There are skis with more rocker than this. Like a lot of Vocal skis, a lot of Revolt skis have much longer rocker than this, but that's still a pretty good amount of rocker. And then you also get like the most early taper, the pointiest tip of any bent ski, and that's just increasing its maneuverability. When you get into deep snow, you know, you kind of have to exaggerate certain characteristics like that to achieve the performance that you want. And yeah, that's it. I mean, those are the ingredients. I think most people know what this ski is all about these days. It is just incredibly fun. It's light, it's agile, it's springy, it's supportive enough for most skiers. You could tour on it if you want to. Like it's not like I don't know that that's the number one goal when Atomic sets out and makes the Ben Chetler 120 is people that are going to tour on it. But you could. There's no like designated skin attachment point, but that skin will stay on it just fine. And then you could tour up and build a backcountry jump and hit the backcountry jump and do it all on one pair of skis. You know, you see plenty of people skiing this thing with an Atomic shift binding on it, so I think that's really cool. There is a range of mount points, so if you want to maximize the freestyle potential, if you want to land switch in deep snow, you know, you want to like build a jump and do a switch 5 in the backcountry, you can go all the way up here to the +3 mount point, and you're getting like a pretty balanced ski. Not perfectly, like I don't think that +3 line is true center, it shouldn't be. But anyways, then you can go back to factory, that's another 3 back, then you can go to -3. So there's a huge amount of customization even just within those 6 centimeters of mount points. So if you're not going to be skiing it backwards and you don't need that, it's going to feel better just putting it back here, and it's still going to be a really, really great ski. You know, if you're lucky enough to go ski places like Alta or Powder Mountain or just anywhere that gets a lot of snow, like even if you're not going backwards at all, this ski should be on your list of things to consider, because it's really well designed for what it's intended to do, and it just continues to find success year over year. Like you rarely talk to somebody who doesn't like a Ben Chetler 120. So that's it. That's the Ben Chetler 120. Let us know if you have any questions about it, and we will see you out there on the slopes.